Hello and welcome. I'm Rob.
And I'm Katie.
And this
is Care Compares.
I wasn't sure if I was going to throw you off that time.
I don't know.
We didn't. Anyway, if you're just joining us because we just started this episode, we compare stuff, usually within similar categories. Now, that being said, sometimes we do stuff mostly because we want to. Last episode, you can check it out up there. We checked out Tim Tams because we really wanted Tim Tams. And it was interesting. Actually, there was some fun stuff that we learned about Tim Tams in the process.
We just ate a lot of cookies.
Yeah. But, that was one. That one was more for us. This time we have something that I've actually wanted to do for a while. And that, we're just going to dive right in, is what?
We have some instant noodles from Top Ramen and Maruchan.
Exactly. Now, these, everyone here should be familiar with. These got me through college. Did they get you through college? Did you not have a lot of these in college?
Not too much. I think it was more just trying to have, when I had, 4 different jobs and trying to, eke out my money.
So you didn't eat Top or Maruchan Ramen in college?
No, because I really just relied on, whatever pittance of a meal plan.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense. Okay. But for those of us that need the extra snack, these were fantastic. They're terrible for you, but
they're delicious.
They're actually quite
very
delicious.
Salty.
But 50 cents for each of these, singular.
Same amount of product.
Mm-hmm.
You have both 3 ounces or 85 grams. They even look quite similar with the
honestly, I like the look of the Maruchan.
I think it looks more inviting.
Yeah,
because it has that
brighter.
Yeah,
brighter.
It's
color.
like a happy orange.
Yeah. Now the names: Top Ramen, Maruchan Ramen. What do we know about them?
So Top Ramen is supposed to be indicative of top quality. It also says on the packaging itself that it's the original because it actually was the first instant noodle ramen that was in the United States. Came over early 1970s. Maruchan came a little bit later, still in the 70s, but it was around 1977. Maruchan is supposed to be, Maru means round, which is a round face or happy, which is why there's a little smiley face in the actual, what do you call it, the title section. And then Chan is an honor or a suffix. That is a term of endearment.
So something like Chan or San or Sama or something for those of you that know the difference. I do not.
Yeah.
I just enjoy the noodles. Now then, these are tasty, but they are in no way healthy.
They're convenient. They have a lot of sodium. I think
so much sodium.
Top Ramen has a little bit more.
But at that point, it's when you're arguing 100 to 200 milligrams of sodium.
It doesn't matter. It's a lot.
Yeah, when there's over 1,500, and there is over 1,500 milligrams of sodium in both these, that is more than 66% each of your daily value of sodium.
This one is 69% if you have the entire package with the seasoning, and then Maruchan is 66.
Most of that, I think, is going to come from
the seasoning
the seasoning package. You reduce that seasoning, you're going to drastically reduce your sodium because the noodles themselves they're noodles, they're simple. So that being said, we're actually not going to use the entire noodle package, which brings us to the method of cooking. Take it away.
So both of them, like I said, are 85 grams. We are, according to the packaging, we have to cook, or we have to bring to a boil 2 cups of water each. You add in the noodles, cook them for 3 minutes, take them off the heat, and then add the seasoning packet. The Maruchan is the slight differentiation where they say that you have to stir in the flavoring packet for a minute.
Okay. But with the water not boiled, it's an extra minute.
You just turn it off the heat, put it in the packet, stir so it gets fully combined. But I'm wondering if that has to do with prolonging a little bit of the cooking.
That's interesting though, because we're not going to be... So if we're following the instructions as the package intends us to, then that doesn't really affect anything for Top Ramen. You still want to stir it a little bit to make sure you get the flavor.
Yeah, but it's not saying, you have to do this for another minute.
Yeah, but we're not turning on the heat for either one of these, and they're still going to sit in the water the entire time.
Yeah.
So they're still going to be cooked the same through, right?
Maybe.
I don't see how the minor stirring would change anything, and because we have to stir both to get the flavor through.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to find out. Is there a difference? I suspect there is. I don't know what it is.
Well, we're going to assess the kind of like chewiness of the noodles.
Texture in general, right?
Yeah. We'll do that, and then also the flavoring of the broth, because I'm assuming they're slightly different.
They have to be different.
So maybe one has better noodles.
We will find out. So, yeah, the noodles, the flavor, and then after we compare the chicken, we then have the beef broth the beef noodles to compare as well, because I believe those are to be the two most popular, most prevalent flavors of Top and Maruchan. And I would like to see if it is actually consistent in our assessment after this first one.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a lot of noodles. Now, if you've seen us, we've done a lot of pastries and cookies in the past. And we've often ended our show not feeling super great. But this is a lot of soda. Now, we're not going to eat it all on camera. There is a chance we will throw out some of this because that is a lot of salt. And I am watching my sodium intake. But I suspect we're not going to feel good at the end of this one either. This is going to hurt.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't hurt us immediately, it's definitely going to hurt us later.
We do it for science. And
it is for science.
For the enjoyment.
Yes. So. And, maybe people at home try this and they say, I actually prefer this type of thing, or whatever. But let's find out, and we're going to get onto it.
All right.
And we're back. That was actually really quick to cook.
Yes.
3 minutes is 4 if you include the stirring. As you can see, these are still steaming. I have Maruchan. You have Top.
Yes.
First impressions.
The broth is... It's
on
not,
the top.
The broth on the top. On the Top ramen, it's just incredibly yellow. Like...
Unnaturally yellow.
Yes.
It's really weird.
It's not neon yellow, but it's quite bright.
Yeah. And you'll see that, and we'll linger on that shot from above, so you can really get a look at that. As opposed to the Maruchan, which is kind of cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
And a little orangey. It looks a touch more natural, I think. We're going to start
with a chicken broth.
Yeah, we're going to start with the top because the Maruchan actually says to let it sit for a minute to cool down. The other thing we've noticed is actually there is a difference in the flavoring packets. First off, one of them said, I'm going to make sure I've got this right, which one?
I think it is actually Top.
Was it Top? Yeah.
For the cooking.
No, I'm talking about they separating. Yeah, Top Ramen does not differentiate between the ingredients of the noodles and the soup base. Maruchan does, so it does tell you the difference. Also, interestingly, the Top Ramen has a serving size of 1 per container. They expect you to eat the whole thing. Maruchan actually has 2 servings per container. But they offer the serving size for half and 2 servings, or 1 and 2 servings.
But who actually eats?
Who's going to eat half of this? And even at half, the sodium is ridiculous. So we were also planning to measure equally the seasoning
itself.
To have a teaspoon of seasoning each. And with the Maruchan, that was like 3/4 of it. It was about 3/4 of the package.
No, but the top.
The top. Right? No, there's extra Maruchan left over.
Oh,
so the Maruchan had more seasoning in the package than the Top did. And I believe the one that actually differentiated between, was it Maruchan I said? Differentiated between the soup base and the noodles, actually was the first ingredient salt, and with less than 1% of other stuff. So it's over 90% salt and sugar, over 90% presumably of salt. It's literally just a package of salt. But we're gonna dive into this and see if there's a difference. So she will go first.
Okay.
Try the noodles and sip the broth, I guess.
Yeah.
And we'll see how this goes.
I feel like these expanded.
They actually that's
quite a bit.
You keep talking, but I'm noticing the Top noodles did actually seem to expand quite a lot more than the Maruchan did.
So I'll let you have the noodles first, and then we'll take a sip.
You can start talking.
It's soft. Like it's very easy to slurp or to eat.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like totally holding on to the taste
flavor
of the broth itself.
Yeah, actually, the noodles are very much
they're soft.
just
they're
noodles.
Nice. They're a little bouncy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to just sip a little bit of this.
Go right ahead. All right. This broth.
Yes.
Salt. It's lighter than I would have thought.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, it's very salty, but
I can't really discern
it's
like other spices overall. It's just like
salt
it's nice
and a hint of chicken.
And yeah, like it's light.
Yeah.
Which is surprising because it has a lot of salt too.
Okay. Now here's where it gets interesting. Go ahead. Take some noodles.
Oh, okay. Wait.
I'm sure it's fine. There we go.
Okay. Oh, these didn't break apart as easy as those did.
Interesting.
Like,
do they feel firmer?
Yeah. A little bit.
And this is the one we stirred more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. 2 cups of water, 3 minutes. 2 cups of water boiling, added for 3 minutes exactly. So these are cooked identically. And that's how the packaging calls for it to be cooked.
So they're about the same consistency as, like, like with softness.
Yeah, this tastes like.
But they've been there longer. They're just sitting there.
Yeah, I mean, only a few seconds longer, honestly. I mean, these feel mushier. Like, they feel less formed.
Yeah. It's like, the top ramen has, like, a nice, I was gonna say, like,
there's an al dente something. Yeah. As Italians, we love our noodles al dente. They do one of them mentions that you could actually break up the noodles.
Yeah, that was top ramen. That just
never
seems
do that.
Blasphemous.
Yes.
So did not do that.
Yeah, I do think the top has the better noodles.
Mm-hmm. But the question is, which one has a better broth?
But similarly, though, like
it's not holding on to the
no,
soup.
It's not. Neither one is, right?
No.
They really don't absorb the flavor of the noodles.
I guess it kind of makes sense because, like, it's not like when you think of just in general, like pastas, right? They usually have like lines on the noodles or something for the noodle to like grasp onto the sauce. These don't, but I imagine that it would have like soaked up some of the soupiness itself to flavor it.
I taste more salt in that one.
In the Maruchan?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's interesting. It's subtle, but it's interesting. They're both very salty.
That is the first thing that we taste. But I do think this one has like, the Maruchan has a little bit
more nuance,
more going on with like the flavor.
Yeah, I don't want to say that the top tastes chemically. I don't think that's quite what it is. It's just it's a lot of salt and it's a lack of other qualifiers.
Well, because I think both of them have like garlic powder and like onion powder, but
I mean,
this one feels, or the Maruchan feels like the soup at least it feels a little thicker. Like
yeah,
the
I agree.
Feels a little like there's more to it.
No, that's true. I do agree with that. So, I'm actually leaning towards the top overall.
Yeah.
Do you think so too?
I mean, I think the
noodles are better.
The noodles tasted better.
The noodles are better. And I don't know.
You could do more with
the flavor.
But
We're gonna
then
get to
we can always doctor it up. So
right. I'm gonna have a couple more bites of this. And then we're gonna get on to our beef flavors. Yeah.
And we're back.
We are back. Round 2. Top versus Maruchan Ramen. Beef edition. Beef flavor edition. All right.
And the only reason why I say that is because this literally says that the top ramen says beef flavor.
Probably no beef in there. Probably no real beef. Oh, you know what? It's 50 cents. Expectations are already low.
I don't know.
That's fair. Now, initial observations the Maruchan is still, which is what I have, is still quite cloudy.
Mm-hmm.
Less so than I think the top.
Yeah, agreed. They look a little bit more similar in the color.
Yeah, but this one seems to have.
But this seems
There's like a texture on top of it of like salt or like that oil on water sheen that you get. There's something like
a
that
separation.
With this. Something. They both have it, but I think it is more. Well, yours is pronounced too, but for me, I think it's more pronounced in the Maruchan.
Yeah, I agree.
Interesting. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start once again with the top.
Okay.
Because the Maruchan mentions that it should be, it should stay or should sit for a minute after cooking.
But is that just the result of like lots of lawsuits?
Here we go. I don't expect to be a lot different. Honestly, I expect the noodles are basically the same, and the only thing that actually differs between these is going to be the flavor packet.
Oh, it's nice.
It's nice? You like it?
I mean I like the noodles.
So the noodles are still
decent.
kind of al dente?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. What do we know about Top and Maruchan? Where are they made?
Well, they're both made in California. So Maruchan is made in Irvine, California, and then Top Ramen is made out of Gardena. Gardena. That's how I say it.
I don't know.
They're not that far away from us.
Not bad. Kind of al dente, but not really. They cook super fast.
Yeah. Which
I prefer something chewier. Generally speaking, neither one of these are as chewy as I would like. Here, go ahead with your broth.
Okay.
But I think so far the noodles are remaining consistent, which again you expect if the only thing different between the packaging is actually just the flavor packet. Is it as salty as the chicken?
I feel like it's saltier.
I feel like I agree.
Well,
it's interesting. I almost
there's
like the
a
flavor
depth
better.
of flavor in this.
There's more going on
compared to Top Ramen's chicken flavor, which was just incredibly light. But first and foremost, I do just taste salt.
Yeah. No, but there is definitely more going on.
This is the first time I've ever had beef flavor.
You're kidding me.
Mm-mm.
Of any of them?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the two main flavors. You gotta try the seafood flavor, the shrimp flavor.
Well, there's shrimp, and then there's soy, and then there's a lot. So Maruchan does have Top Ramen beat with a number of flavors because they have at least 13, 3 of which are chicken.
Well, so I'm sorry, they have 3 chicken.
Yes.
Wait, who has 3 chicken flavors?
So Maruchan has 13 different flavors on their website, and 3 of them are chicken related. So
10 non-chicken flavors and 3 chicken flavors.
Yes. So there's chicken, there's roasted chicken, and then there's like a creamy chicken. I don't know. I'm kind of intrigued to see are they different at all. So
the noodles.
I'm gonna just move this one over for a hot.
The noodles taste a little more consistent this time around, and again, the method of cooking has not changed. We actually use the same pots that we used before, which are actually fairly new. Same heat, 2 cups of water, boiled, cooked for 3 minutes, with the Maruchan being stirred for an additional minute after the flavor has been added. Again, we used about 1 teaspoon each of the flavoring package, which for the top basically emptied the package, but for the Maruchan there was about another 1/4 teaspoon left, which is again just an interesting thing to note. Now, stitch this back up to you.
Has an interesting. I don't even know what that flavor is.
Oh yeah, that's weird. What is that?
It has an interesting aftertaste, like almost kind of like bone broth, but not.
Yeah, not nearly as high quality, but that's interesting.
No, like I could drink the Top Ramen broth more than I'd be inclined to have the Maruchan.
Is there a mouthfeel difference in these?
I think Top Ramen yet again is a little bit lighter.
You think so?
For this one?
I don't know. Try it. So this is Top.
Okay.
This is Maruchan. I do believe the
This
Top...
one at least makes me think The top at least makes me think that's some kind of beef flavor.
Yeah, and it's got a lot more depth to it, I think, in general, or a bit more depth to it. I think
this seems lighter.
Yeah, so I think the Maruchan...
I think you're right, that's lighter.
The Maruchan tastes lighter. It has a lighter mouthfeel. And I think it tastes less salty.
Mm-hmm. Agreed, even though it has more salt.
Yes, true, even though it does have more salt. The noodles, I think, are more similar in this, although that could just be from the packaging. Mm-hmm. Which, once again, I do believe that the noodles are going to be the same package, but this... I still prefer... Man, have I been eating the wrong one all these years? I feel like whenever I went,
we usually maybe
I don't
Maruchan.
know. Yeah, Maruchan is one I usually grab, but maybe they got it right the first time. Maybe Top, being the creator of instant ramen.
Yeah, so Top Ramen, Nissan Foods or whatever, they created instant noodles in 1958. Oh. Which was a result of like post World War II and like food shortages and trying to figure out, how to do things quicker and more convenient and economical.
I mean, that makes total sense.
But yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised that I like the noodles better in the Top Ramen.
And the broth though.
Weirdly not. I mean, for the chicken, I still think the Maruchan has a little bit more going on with the broth, but I like the beef flavor of the Top Ramen better.
Interesting. Okay. I mean, but though if you're gonna get the chicken, so for the beef flavor, Top just wins. Mm-hmm. It's got the better noodles. It's got the better flavor. Now, if we're looking at the chicken flavor, though, Maruchan has the slightly better flavor, but flavor. Does it make up for the slightly worse noodles?
I mean, if you cooked the noodles a little less, like maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's something to doctor up to, and we'll get to that in a moment. But
I feel like you'd have to
both
do
of these are
like
cooked too long. I think.
Agree.
3 minutes is actually too long. 2 minutes might actually be better. Mm-hmm. And I love noodles. I love
They're
pasta.
Comfort food.
They're fantastic. But these are definitely over. Both of these are still overcooked.
That's you need to have a little bite.
And that's fair. I think we've done even our very first episode with dumplings. We talk about the cooking instructions and following them as the manufacturer intended for them to be cooked. But sometimes like they do it for whatever reason that they have. But I don't think that's always accurate. And so we saw with dumplings. We see that with this. I think cook it for less.
But I mean, isn't that like any kind of recipe or any kind of instruction?
You're going to modify it to fit your tastes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but
if we were to do this again, we would probably cook them for a little less time.
Yes. And also, we are now going to, now that we've kind of assessed these, and I mean, they're similar, but it seems like Top is tops. Next up, we're going to be talking about what you can do to actually make these more enjoyable. Because there's a lot of potential here.
Yeah.
But just to have some ramen by itself, it's not good enough. We can do better, and we're going to talk about what we do to make our ramen better. See you in a minute.
And we're back.
We are back. So, okay. In summation, I still like ramen. Like, it's
quick, it's convenient, it's you can transform it into a myriad of different kinds of dishes if you have just a few ingredients on hand.
If you remove the flavor packet entirely, it becomes a much healthier snack.
Yeah.
But with even half a packet, you're sacrificing kind of a lot of your health if you eat these even like twice a week. Right? Yeah. I mean, and again, these have gotten me through college, and I've eaten so much of this, but it's not, again, like not good for you. And
but I'm also wondering for the salt portion, not only for preservatives, but is it also to make you feel fuller faster?
Maybe, because we didn't even eat half of all of these, and I feel
kind of
really bloated. And that's from your salt, right? Salt's gonna bloat you. You're gonna feel just gross and large. And yeah,
you just don't want to wrap up in a blanket and lay down.
Yeah, you say that after a lot of these shows we do, though.
Yeah, well, I had like 5 Tim Tams the other day, so that was a lot.
So, what do we do to improve this? There's 2 things, generally speaking, that you're going to do to improve your instant ramen. The first thing is going to affect the flavor, and the second part is to actually bulk up the meal. Mm-hmm. Flavor. Now, that's personal preference, right?
Yeah.
But
I would definitely say because there is so much salt, you need
to reduce the packet to at least, at most, half.
Would say that. I mean, I think having some, like, maybe ground pepper, red pepper, like some kind of like chili flakes.
If you're Italian and you have Calabrian spice kicking around, it's similar to red pepper. Trader Joe's sells something called hatch spices, which is various hatch peppers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you like a bit of kick, and I think that does add a bit of depth to it.
It does, and then it also just cuts a little bit of the salt.
Now, the other thing we've done, which you should try, is about a half a teaspoon, I think, of lime juice.
Yes.
Lime juice actually, even by itself, with just the flavor packet, does transform ramen. Absolutely.
It amplifies it, and it just... Because usually if you're going to have, like, a meal, right, you have, like, salt, usually you have some kind of heat, you have something sour, some kind of acid to cut in.
It's true. Yeah, it is lacking in acid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's actually going to make all the difference. And it won't really come through strongly, but you'll have enough of an acid that it's just going to be more palatable.
Mm-hmm.
Any other...
Maybe like a...
I mean, garlic and onion powder can also go a really long way. Asian cooking and Italian cooking, of course,
it, but I mean, I
does,
think you
but
need
it's
to
not
put a
enough.
little bit more.
It's never enough garlic. However, I use garlic
Measure garlic with your heart.
with reckless abandon, bordering on contempt for cooking. But yes, garlic and a little bit of onion powder, I think, can also take that a long way.
Maybe like chili garlic crisp or...
Yeah, you could use... I mean, there's a million
like
kinds
that.
of chili garlic oils and things that you can mix in, which are also fantastic. But I mean, I think the core of it for us is just to give yourself a little bit of flavor. Black pepper, red pepper, and lime.
Some kind of acid, yeah.
And lime. It all goes in well. More so than lemon. Lime actually, I think, is the right flavor profile. Not a lemon juice, a lime juice. Now, actually bulking up the meal so you're not just having a pile of carbs. You want to have something that's actually a little bit more of a proper meal with a little more
Which, weirdly
nutrition.
enough, somehow, like, the top ramen has, like, 9 grams of protein.
Yeah, they both have a lot of protein. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know where that protein's coming from.
I think Maruchan is, like, 8 grams.
Yeah,
it could be from, like, ground up.
Nutritionally, they're extremely similar. It's not even worth comparing necessarily. And honestly, there's no reason to compare the nutrition on these. There really isn't. They're both fairly terrible for you. Now,
they taste good, though.
They do taste good.
That being said, when I said about protein, I think having like a soft-boiled egg or hard-boiled egg,
an egg that's cooked enough so that the center is just a little jammy, is perfect. Now, if you like, you could fully hard-boil the egg, slice it up, fantastic.
Or you can just have a fried egg.
You could do a fried egg on top. We've done that as well. An egg does bulk this up pretty considerably. Adds a bit of healthiness to it, kind of, but you're adding cholesterol.
Yeah. You could do that. You could, if you had like a rotisserie chicken, you could put a little bit of
Now again, rotisserie chicken itself, if you get it from the store prepackaged, not great for you. But if you grill up some chicken, or if you do a rotisserie chicken at home yourself, that added to it, also fantastic. To give yourself that little extra protein. Would you add beans? Probably not.
I mean, soybeans I've done in the past.
Okay, soybeans I can see. Okay.
Yeah, so some kind of microwavable edamame or frozen edamame.
Oh, edamame. Edamame is actually fantastic. Yeah, shelled edamame in that.
Yeah.
We also have, if you're looking for something green, you can also do spinach is acceptable, or if you want to chop up some bok choy is also very, very good in that as well.
Yeah.
Just to give it that it's like a longer, stringier texture depending on how you cut it, but it's a different kind of texture that complements the noodles themselves.
Let's say you don't want to do that. Maybe the simplest thing you could do is just to have some green onions, scallions.
Scallions are great.
At least
it does add a little bit of that
green,
onion flavor.
Oniony.
Yeah, kind of garnishes the dish itself.
Mm-hmm.
What else did I say?
You could do like canned corn.
Yeah, you could do that.
You mean drain it and stuff, but that at least bulks it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Cabbage.
Yeah, cabbage would actually be really great. The cabbage, I feel like, takes longer to cook, though. You'd probably have to start with the cabbage and then add in the noodles.
Well,
right?
What about if you just want it crunchy?
If you want crunchy, then you can do it that way, too.
Yeah.
Anything else you can think to add? I mean, because that's like the core stuff that we've done. We've done the egg. We've done some kind of green, usually like a finely chopped spinach. And pepper, red pepper, garlic,
a lot
onion.
I mean, just look at your pantry and just mix and match things and
Yeah, honestly, I mean, it's a good starting point for a meal, but it's not by itself. It's not there.
well, in both Maruchan and Top Ramen on their websites, they have a ton of different recipes, kind of like we were talking about with like Tim Tam and not Pop Tarts because Pop Tarts are just what they are, but you can use this as like an ingredient towards like a different type of meal. Like I forget which one they had something with like a lasagna. I was like, I'm not even touching.
I'm sorry. Did you say you can make a lasagna out of?
Allegedly, I'm kind of.
Look, I
have morbid curiosity.
There's
what is this?
There's some. As an Italian, to tell me you're making a lasagna out of ramen is an insult.
But don't you want to know what they want you to do? I would just want to know.
Morbid curiosity is adequate for yes. We have several episodes coming up. We're shooting a lot of episodes back to back now. And some of those episodes, one of those episodes in particular, I consider particularly blasphemous as an Italian. And you'll see that coming up in the next couple weeks. But it's been requested.
Yeah.
And so, for the sake of science, this is kind of science. We're writing it down, recording it. For the sake of what we do. Curiosity, and to answer questions that you folks may have, please leave a comment below with any of your questions. We are trying all kinds of different things that we would never normally try ourselves.
Yes. That's why we're comparing it to our...
Well, we're not saying what it is.
Yeah.
You know what it is. But that's coming in a couple weeks. Anyway.
Regardless, instant noodles overall are very popular. Mm-hmm. They're transformative, like we said. They give you a chance to kind of exercise your creativity in the kitchen.
Yeah, if you don't know how to cook... it's
a good starting place.
Start with this and just add a few things. Mushrooms are fantastic. Mushrooms.
Talk about mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms go great in this as well. And it's just trying stuff that with different textures to see how. And sometimes it's not going to work, but if you mess up a 50-cent meal, you don't feel so bad necessarily. So this is a good place to start if you don't actually know how to cook. And if you don't know how to cook, start now. Yeah. Start yesterday. Start now.
It's never too late to start learning. So. Besides that, I have one other fun fact.
Oh, what do you got?
So, and I only found this from Maruchan, but they produce enough instant noodles. It's like 3.6 billion packages each year.
Yearly. 3.6 billion packages.
To put that into perspective, that's like from going from planet Earth to Mars and then back again.
Is that like if you unstring the noodle and then it goes...
I'm assuming.
That is so much noodle.
I really want to know how many billions of packages Top Ramen has, since...
I mean, that's a good question.
I couldn't.
Yeah, it's weird, because I expect Top Maruchan to be the one I would have preferred, but I don't know. Or maybe I just don't pay attention when I actually go to the store and I've got it. 50 cents noodles, I just grab it and go. But this is exactly why we do this thing, to see if there is actually a difference. And it seems like Top Ramen, for the chicken and beef, has come out... For the beef, definitely has come out on top. Yes. And for the chicken, has eked its way forward by having slightly better noodles.
Agreed.
Interesting. That's all I've got.
Well, anyway, if you have some doctoring up kind of tricks and tips and stuff for us, please leave a comment down below. Mm-hmm. If you have an idea of what you'd like us to try out next, please feel free to share that with us. We'd love to
try whatever you got on offer. Yeah.
And then other than that, please like and subscribe. And you want to tell them where they could check us out?
Yes. You can follow us here at KR Compares. Also on Instagram at KR Compares, or on our website, rjpfilms.com/KR Compares. And that's it.
We'll see you next time.
I'm Rob.
And I'm Katie.
See ya.
Take care.